How we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts here. And it's in the holiday mood, past Christmas or Hanukkah, whenever you guys celebrate. New Year's is coming. We're coming to an end of 2025. And I got a big wish list for things I want to see and don't want to see in 2025 in the UFC. Just things that I want to see, I need to see. I'm going to interchange some of these. I'm going to say one want that I have and one don't that I want to not have. You get the point of the video. I've got things that I want to see and things I don't want to see. Let's start with a want. I need Khamzat Chimaev and DDP to fight in 2025. I need DDP to just win. And my don't contrast is DDP versus Strickland 2. I don't want to see this fight. It'll be alright. It'll be cool in the moment. It'll be cool when it's happening. But I just really don't give a shit about this fight. It is honestly going to be... I'm going to not like it. I don't think DDP... I don't think it goes any differently. I think Strickland loses again. He's not going to change anything. He's going to walk forward, jab, and teep kick, and DDP's going to win again. I think DDP is going to look better. I'd much rather want to see Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis. Because, one, it's a new matchup, and two, their past performance, Strickland is coming off a 5-round snooze fest with Paulo Costa. Chimaev got Robert Whittaker out of there in the first round. It is so bullshit to me. We're going to have to wait so long for this fucking fight, but I'll wait. I will wait. I want to see Chimaev and DDP to fight in 2025. I need this fight to happen. It's coursing through my veins. I need to see what happens when Chimaev goes against a guy like Dricus du Plessis, who is super strong, super big, and has decent jiu-jitsu chops, but doesn't have the scramble ability, but has the heart and will to do anything across 5 rounds. What happens if Chimaev doesn't get him out of there in the first? I'll tell you what happens when DDP doesn't get Strickland out of there in the first. The same fucking thing. He's just going to jab away at him. Just, hey, come on, you fucking pussy. Here's the fucking thing. Here's the fucking thing about DDP, you guys. He's a fucking pussy. Shut up. No one gives a shit about you. We move to another want and don't want. I need Ankalaev and Alex Pereira to fight. I need this fight. And a don't is I don't care about Pereira versus literally anybody but before Ankalaev. If Pereira fights anybody before he fights Magomed Ankalaev, I will not give a shit. I don't care at all. It doesn't make sense that Pereira fights anybody else besides Magomed Ankalaev. Ankalaev has earned a title shot because he has the longest unbeaten streak at light heavyweight in a long, long time, besides, of course, like John Jones. He's been unbeaten for a while. I don't care about anybody versus Pereira besides Magomed Ankalaev. I don't give a shit about a rumored Chimaev matchup because it doesn't make fucking sense. Chimaev's a middleweight. He's earned a title shot at middleweight. He hasn't earned shit at light heavyweight. Let him fight DDP. I don't give a shit about Pereira moving up to heavyweight. I think he loses to both John Jones and Tom Aspinall. I don't give a shit about anything besides Ankalaev. We need to see this fight first. It needs to happen. I don't give a shit. Make it happen, Dana. If you don't make it happen, I'll chop your fucking balls off. How about that? Ankalaev Pereira needs to happen. Because, one, it's the freshest matchup in the division. It's the only one that even makes remote sense. He's number 1 right now. Magomed Ankalaev is number 1 in the division. Pereira has beat almost everybody else. I mean, literally, there's nobody else that's deserving of a title shot. He's beaten Yuri. He's beat Jamal. He's beat Jan. He's beaten Khalil Roundtree. Carlos Ulberg still hasn't proven enough. Alexander Rakic on a 2-fight losing streak. Actually, he's on a 3 now, ain't he? Yeah, I forget about the Jan Blachowicz fight. But it doesn't make sense that anybody besides Ankalaev gets a title shot. We move to another want and don't. I want to see Ilia Topuria versus Diego Lopez. I don't want to see Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Now hear me out. I want Ilia Topuria to make legacy at featherweight. He already has such great legacy at featherweight. Make more. Prove that you're the greatest featherweight of all time. You've already beaten Volk. You've already beaten Max. Beat Diego Lopez, who's coming off a huge win, 5 wins in a row in like under a year, essentially. Prove it. Prove that you're the best featherweight. You beat Volk, you beat Max, beat some other guys, beat Movsar Evloev, beat Diego Lopez. I don't care about Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. I really don't. Because here's the thing. I think that Ilia would probably beat Charles Oliveira. I think he beats Diego Lopez and Movsar Evloev. But those are actual matchups at featherweight. Charles Oliveira, I honestly don't want to see him fight. I think he knocks Charles out. I don't want to see it. That's the only reason. I don't want to see Charles lose. If I'm being totally honest with you, that's the only reason why I don't care for the matchup. Because I think I don't want to see Charles get knocked out. All right, there you go. You happy? I don't want to see Charles get knocked out by Topuria. Also, I'm sick and tired of motherfuckers moving up after one title defense. Defend your title more, man. I don't care how good you are. Defend your fucking belt. Has Islam moved up yet? No. He's had the belt since 280. Volkanovski had to defend his title like 5 fucking times before moving up to fight Islam for the first time. Israel at least defended his title twice before moving up to fight fucking Jan Blachowicz. Fucking, like, Conor is the only exception, I guess. You're not Conor, though. Well, he's actually better than Conor, actually, because he actually defended his title. But still, defend. You have a rightful guy to defend the title against in Diego Lopez. Defend it against him, please. I only care about Topuria versus Charles if the matchup they're going to make is Ilia Topuria versus Alexander Volkanovski. Then you can do Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Besides that, Topuria versus Lopez. We move to another want. I want Islam versus whoever is champ at 170 next at 2025. I don't care if it's Bilal Muhammad. I don't give a shit if it's Shavkat. I don't care if it's Jack Della Maddalena. I don't care if it's Kamaru Usman. I need to see Islam versus whoever is champ at 170 next year. What I don't want to see is Brandon Moreno getting a title shot unless he beats another person first. These are two contrasting things. The ones before this have kind of gone hand in hand, of course. Islam versus whoever is champ at 170, I believe Islam is going to beat Arman Tsarukyan at 311. And if he does, I believe he has earned, he's already earned to a double champ status fight. But if he beats Arman, he has for sure earned enough respect from everybody. He's older now. Islam's 34 now, I believe. You know? And welterweight, if Bilal Muhammad does lose to Shavkat Rakhmonov, or if Bilal Muhammad is still champ, I don't care. Make that fight. There's like nobody else at lightweight for Islam to fight if he beats Arman Tsarukyan. He's beaten Arman. He's beaten Charles. He hasn't beaten Gaethje, but Gaethje got knocked out by Max Holloway. He's beat Poirier. Max Holloway, who cares? Dan Hooker, who cares? Michael Chandler, who cares? None of these guys are even close to getting title shots. The next guy he'd probably fight is Charles Oliveira. We know how that fight fucking goes, all right? I don't give a shit about that fight. But the Moreno title shot, what I mean by this, I love Brandon Moreno. He's one of my favorite fighters in flyweight history. He's beat Amir Al-Bassi. If Brandon Moreno gets a title shot against Pantoja, I will be sad because I don't want to see him fight for the title just yet. And also, has he really deserved it? He's already 0-3 against Pantoja. I get it. There's context between the fights. There was a large jump between the second fight and the third fight. Yada, yada, yada. Let Brandon Moreno fight somebody else. Maybe you put him against Kai Kara France in their trilogy fight. They have fought 3 times, right? I think so. Make that fight, or just do Kai Kara France versus Pantoja. Maybe you do Brandon Moreno versus the loser of Royval and Manel Kopp. Maybe you do that. But I don't want to see Brandon Moreno's next fight be for the title, because I do believe Pantoja just beats him again. And it's not even like a skill. I really do believe it's just Pantoja has some style that really struggles, or Moreno really does struggle with. And I kind of don't want to see it right now. Let it build up a bit more. We move to another want. I want JDM, I want Jack Della Maddalena and Kamaru Usman to fight. I want this fight to happen. And what I don't want is WMMA main events, especially in the Apex in 2025. Now, let's start with the want, because I got some shit to talk about with the thing I don't want to see. JDM versus Usman just needs to happen. Jack Della Maddalena, he's taking enough time off. They're rumoring that it's in 313. 312 doesn't make sense for some reason, even though it's in Australia. Who gives a shit? Just make the fight happen. Kamaru Usman's been sitting on his ranking for fucking ages. JDM's number 4. Let him fight up. He has earned a Kamaru Usman fight. Make it 5 rounds. Make it a 5-round. I would love to see this on a pay-per-view as like a featured fight or co-main event. If there's 2 title fights, make it the featured fight 5 rounds. If there's only 1 title fight, make it the co-main event 5 rounds. I want Jack Della Maddalena versus Kamaru Usman. Kamaru needs to fight. You guys know how much I like Kamaru. He's my fucking profile picture, for Christ's sake. I love Kamaru Usman. He needs to fight. And Jack Della Maddalena needs a fight. He's earned it. He beat Gilbert Burns. He finished Gilbert Burns. Make this fight happen. Let's go to the don't. MMA main events, especially in the Apex. If you guys aren't informed, the first card of next year is UFC Vegas 101, Dern vs. Hebos 2 in the Apex. No. Just no. 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 Nah. This is the only one that should happen this year. I don't want to see another WMMA main event this year. If there is, I will legit not cover it. I'm sorry. Not because I'm not a fan of WMMA. WMMA can be very entertaining. It's just that the main events that they're putting up aren't good main events, and they're just excuses to have main events in the Apex, because it's a top 5 WMMA fight that they know would never sell shit in a crowded arena. Hence why Blanchfield and Rose Namajunas did not remain the main event of UFC Edmonton, and they added Brandon Moreno versus Amir Albazi because they saw the crowd and public reaction to Thug Rose Namajunas and Aaron Blanchfield being a main event. They said, fuck you, UFC. We're not going to go to it. We're not buying tickets. Suck a dick. So they put Brandon Moreno and Amir Albazi. Everyone was like, Brandon Moreno, he's a star. We'll watch it. I don't care about WMMA 5-round main events besides a couple fighters. I don't care about Amanda Lemos versus Verna Jandiroba. I'm sorry. I don't care about Rose Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit about Rose Namajunas versus Amanda Hebos. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit about these main events. Nobody does. We move to another want and don't want. I want Nikita Krylov to return, and I want Movsar, and I don't want Movsar Evloev to fight anybody below top 5. Let's get into it. Nikita Krylov hasn't fought since he beat Ryan Spann at UFC Vegas, Jan versus Dvalishvili. I need this dude to come back. All right, he was scheduled against Azamat Murzakanov. The fight fell through. I need Nikita Krylov to return. This dude's very entertaining. I'm pretty sure he has an 100% finish rate in his career, if I'm not mistaken. 12 wins. He has a 28 finishes out of 30 fights. 30 wins, rather. Very entertaining is Nikita Krylov. He just hasn't fought. He's been fighting Ukraine. He had a crazy back injury, I believe. I need Nikita Krylov to come back. It's an underrated fighter, and I think that he can make some waves coming back. He's on is he on like a 3-fight winning streak? 3-fight win streak since losing to Paul Craig. and had a close fight with Magomed Ankalaev. People forget, man. He knocked out Gustafsson, beat Volkan Oezdemir, and he knocked out or subbed Ryan Spann. Excuse me. I need this guy to come back. The Movsar Evloev thing, I'm sick and tired of seeing Movsar fight people below top 5. I feel like he has directly earned either a number 1 contender fight or a just title shot. He's undefeated, 19-0, 9-0 in the UFC. At this point, I know he doesn't get finishes. I know he's boring, blah, 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 even though I think he gets overhated a lot on his entertainment value. I think Movsar Evloev's fights are usually entertaining. Put him against Max Holloway. Put him against Volkanovski. Make a fight. Put him versus literally anybody below, like in the top 5. Stop. Like, if his next fight is like Josh Emmett, I will fucking kill you. All right? Do you hear me? I will fucking murder you if you make Movsar Evloev have to fight Josh Emmett. Because here's the thing. If he gets knocked out by Josh Emmett, I can guarantee you the UFC's not even going to try and get him a top 5 matchup ever again. If he loses once, they're like, it's fucking Movsar Evloev, fucking blah, blah, blah. I don't even really like Movsar Evloev that much. Give him a fucking top 5 fighter or give him a number 1 contender fight. Stop fucking pussyfooting. We move to some other shit. Joel Alvarez title run is a want. Joel Alvarez, one of the more entertaining guys in the UFC. Just I want to see him go on a title run. Let him go on a win streak. He's already on a win streak right now. Is it a 3 or 4 fight win streak? It is a 3-fight win streak. Mark Jacasey, Elvis Brenner, Drakkar Klose. Did I mention all of them are by finish? Last guy to ever beat Joel Alvarez is Arman Tsarukyan. He's a good fighter, tall for the division. He's like a better Jalen Turner. Put him against like Benoit Saint-Denis next, please. Make it a UFC Spain. I just want to see. A thing I don't want to see is Mario Batista win a fight. I want to see Mario Batista lose. Because fuck you. I think you all remember how I feel about Mario Batista. I think we all know how we all feel about Mario Batista. Go fuck yourself. We move to another want and don't want. I want Dominic Reyes and Petr Yan's revival to continue. I don't want Chandler to win. Jesus Christ, this is mean. Dominic Reyes and Petr Yan had great 2024s. Both had 2 wins. Dominic Reyes got 2 finishes. Petr Yan beat 2 top 10 opponents in Davison Figueiredo and Song Yadong. Both had great years. Both were coming off huge losing streaks. I think Petr's had been up to 3 because he lost to Aljo, lost to Yan, Merab, lost to Sean O'Malley, wins 2 in a row. Dominic Reyes, of course, lost to John Jones, lost to Yuri Prohaska, lost to Jan Blachowicz, lost to Ryan Spann, wins 2 in a row. We love seeing these guys win. Now, Michael Chandler can go fucking die, if I'm being totally honest with you. He's a cheater. He's a dirty-ass fighter. He's dirty as shit, and I don't think he should ever... I don't care about him. I hope he loses. If his next fight is against Paddy Pimblett, which is a fight I don't really give a shit about, I hope Paddy Pimblett breaks his fucking arm. I do. So, go fuck yourself, Michael Chandler. We move to another want and don't want. I'm going to go through some don'ts. Things I don't want to see. I don't want to see Sharabutin Magomedov lose, and I don't want to see Tatsuro Taira lose. I don't want to see either of these guys lose. I think Sharabutin Magomedov is a very good thing for the UFC because he provides a lot of publicity for the UFC. Shara, blind in one eye, crazy-looking villain dude, top 15 at middleweight, usually brings entertaining fights, has entertaining finishing styles. I mean, the Armin Petrosian double back fist was fucking nuts, all right? Tatsuro Taira is just a personal thing. I love Tatsuro Taira, one of my favorite fighters on the roster. I could also throw Steve Erceg on there for a guy I don't want to see lose in 2024. I don't think I could handle seeing Tatsuro and Steve Erceg lose again. I love both these fellas. Stay to have an undefeated 2025, please. Another thing I don't want to see are pay-per-views headlined by flyweight title fights. We saw 2 of them in 2024. They were all right. Erceg Pantoja, great fight. Just kind of like didn't have the oomph on it that I'd like for a pay-per-view main event to have, because not a lot of people gave a shit. Pantoja Asakura had some hype because people were like, holy shit, Asakura's got so much aura, and then he loses in round 2. Pantoja's great, he just doesn't have a lot of star power, let's be honest. Another thing I don't want to see are heavyweight main events on fight nights, especially lower-ranked people. Who cares about these fights? Spivak versus Tybura, major implications for the title, I guess, dude. Derek Lewis versus Rodrigo Nascimento in a crowded event, by the way. No! Rosenstrike versus Gaziev. These are all main events that happened last year, 2 of which were in the Apex. No. No one gives a fuck. Stop making these fat people fight each other in main events. Jesus. Let's get to a want. I want Umar Sy, Esteban Ribovics, Vinicius Oliveira, John Silva, Islam Dulatov, and Jacoby Smith to become either ranked or have 2 or more fights in 2025. These are guys that I'm really looking out for. You can throw Ming Yang Zhang in there as well. You can throw Ibo Aslan in there as well. These are all guys that I want to see fight a shit ton in the UFC. Include Carlos Prates. Fuck it. Add him on a guy that I want to see fight 2 more times or become even further ranked. Just throw it on there. Just throw those guys on there. These are all fucking badass fighters. These are great dudes who deserve a lot in the UFC. Islam Dulatov making his debut at UFC Seattle, John Silva, UFC Seattle, Vinicius Oliveira, UFC Saudi Arabia, Umar Sy fighting Alonzo Metafield, I don't remember when, but he's fighting him. Esteban Ribovics had a Fight of the Year contender at UFC Noche. Fucking Jacoby Smith, you fucking watch out, you motherfuckers. This dude's gonna become something crazy. Another want that I want. Petr Yan versus Sean O'Malley 2. I need it. 5 rounds, co-main event, main event of a pay-per-view. I don't give a shit. This fight has enough fiver to main event a pay-per-view as a non-title fight. This fight means a lot to me. Because, 1, I think either of them can win it, and we already know it's going to be mad entertaining. That's all that matters, of course. That's all that matters. Make this the main event or co-main event. I don't know what pay-per-view this could be a featured fight on. If this was a 5-round main featured fight, that pay-per-view would probably be the best thing since sliced bread. All right, we need this. Make it for like the April pay-per-view because I'm pretty sure that's Miami. Make it happen. The last thing for either or. The last thing I don't want to see in the UFC in 2025. People getting main events before their 4th fight in the promotion. Now, Carlos Prates is the only exemption of this because he actually won by brutal KO. Shamil Gaziev got a main event 2 fights into his UFC career, and he lost. Did Joe Pyfer have 4 fights? He beat the one Macedonian guy. He beat Gerald Mearshart. Was it his 4th fight that he got a main event? And he lost to Jack Hermanson? Or did he have 4, or did he only have... That was his 4th fight. He beat Omar Amedovsky, or Alan Amedovsky. Is this dude from Macedonia, or is he Russian? He is Macedonian. How the fuck did I remember that? That's disgusting. Kill me. He beat Gerald Mearshart. He beat Abdulrazak Al-Hassan. Then they gave him main event. He loses. Shamil Gaziev is just gross. He is a fat guy. Never let him in a main event ever again unless it's for a title. Who are some other fellas that got main events that shouldn't? Tracy Cortez, I know she had like... Actually, did Tracy Cortez have a lot of fights in the UFC prior to... She had 5 up to that point. WMA main event, nobody gives a shit. Who's another? Other examples... Guys, like, I know it was a year ago, but, like, what's his name? German fella. Nurmagomedov. Abus being Magomedov. Or is he Nurmagomedov? Who gives a shit? You know who I'm talking about. Dude that Sean Strickland beat. Can we stop doing this, please? It rarely ever works out. Stop it. Kaya Sakura got a title shot in his debut. No! Stop it. The last thing I want to see in the UFC in 2025 is Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. I probably won't see it. We probably won't. But I want to see this fight so bad. Because here's the thing. Jon Jones can win. He can win. I don't think he does. I'm picking Tom Aspinall. But it's one of the biggest fights in UFC history. There's so much fiver going into it from the fan bases of both guys. Both guys are like, dude, Jon Jones would maul Tom Aspinall. Other guys are like, Tom Aspinall would murder him in the first round. Why don't we just find out? International Fight Week. I can wait to International Fight Week for this fight to happen. I can wait. Because Jon Jones is only going to get older. I can wait. Just make this fight happen, Dana. Give Jon Jones whatever. Let fucking Riyadh season in on it if you need more change to pay Jon Jones to finally accept a fight against a dude who has a chance of beating him in recent years. These are some things that I want and don't want to see in the UFC in the year of 2025. What are some things you guys want to see in 2025? What are some things you want to leave behind and don't want to see in 2025? Let me know. If you like the video, give it a like. If you like content like this, give me a subscription. But yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.